Hello there, fellow humans, and welcome to the World of Tanks Blitz Christmas event in 2025. There is a new tank, the G-Sword the Tank, which you can't get, but more on that later. And there are a lot of different events. For example, you can get yourself the Rudolph for free if you just log into the game. Also, by simply logging in, you will get yourself some sticker packs in the Advent calendar. You can also buy these, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. It's a waste of gold. So log in every single day, redeem yourself some rewards, because they're free, they're nice, and if you log in enough, you can also get a free Skoda T45 if you haven't already gotten it, and you also get a profile background, because that's worth something. Now, very nice Advent calendar right here, log in every day, and get it for free. Now, in the shop, there is no more good news, because the boxes, 50,000 for 60, they're unchanged in price. They haven't gotten worse. Very nice. So if you need a lot of gold, here's your chance. Fill it up to get yourself a lot of gold. But what is a music box? And why does it look like World of Tanks PC? Well, the new Christmas event this year, there are no more snow globes. They're gone. However, there is now the Festive Town, which is essentially just the World of Tanks PC event, but downsized a little bit. Now, the first mechanic right here is the hot cocoa line, basically. You need 510 hot cocoa to get all the way to the end. Now, if you play 10 wins a day, you get 3, that is 22 days, you can get to the end of this. However, you can also gamble, which you shouldn't do, but you can gamble. So, what you have here is you have a tier 7 certificate, you have a tier 10 certificate, and right here, you have upgrade tokens. Now, you will need these upgrade tokens in the next couple of sections right here, for example, with your Christmas tree. Because on this tree, what you can do, you can put ornaments onto this tree, right? So, right here, if you open music boxes, you can put these ornaments on your tree. Now, what does that do if you put ornaments on your tree? If you put all 8 ornaments on a tree, you get a 25% credit bonus to all of your battles. Now, this is also a copy from how World of Tanks PC does it. Now, World of Tanks PC also has a XP bonus. This doesn't. However, 25% plus credits for essentially nothing is quite nice nonetheless. Now, you upgrade the tree right here with these upgrade tokens that you earn by playing and earning them with the hot cocoa that you could obviously just pay for. But if you play every single day, you get your 10 wins, you can get all the way through this. So that's not too bad. Then, if you want the extra credits right here, you need to get the ornaments from the music boxes. Yeah, that's not all though. It wouldn't be a wargaming event without unnecessary amounts of gambling. Now here, we obviously have these Festive Town containers, which, yeah, they include a tiny bit of hot cocoa and some stuff, but they're 50,000 free XP. I don't recommend buying them. You can also buy them for 1,000 gold, which, I mean, you get ornaments out of these. So, there's that. So what you can do, you get yourself an ornament, right there, there's a cat, and now I have 1% credit bonus, right there, by opening that crate for 1,000 gold. 1%. Now, how do you get the rest? Well, obviously, if you unlock these slots right here, you need the tokens, so let's do that. To make an upgrade, get additional 1 at the town square, which I will need to do right here. Claim it. I'll have 1 upgrade token. Now, I'm going to go to my tree, right here. And I'm going to click this button, I'm going to upgrade my tree. Now I have 4 slots available that I can equip right here. And now I have 6% credit bonus. Now, some of these you can only get in music boxes, some of them you can obtain right here. So, depends what you think is worth it. Now, if you upgrade the Yuletide store, you can get some collection items right here for the Christmas tree as well, that you have to pay 202,600 credits. Or, if that's not enough, you can upgrade to level 3 and level 4, where you can spend all of your stuff, where you get some crates right here, because why not? Why get something useful when you can instead get crates? So you upgrade your thing right here, and then there is another one that is right here, the shooting gallery, that you can upgrade and earn more rewards as well. Now, to upgrade the shooting gallery, you need to earn mastery badges. First class is here, aces right here. You need to get, for example, earn 8 aces to get this music box right here, which does include G-Sword the Tank, at a drop chance of a whopping 0.4%. Nice wargame. Now, you might ask yourself, why does he have 100? Didn't he say he stopped spending money on Blitz in 2023? Yes, I have, but Wargaming gave every community contributor 100 of these to promote them. I'm not going to do that. I'm not opening these on stream. I've got 100 for free. You have to pay for them, as you saw in the shop. That is quite a lot of money. 10 cost 42 euros. Now, normally, if you remember, 10 snow globes gave you the brand new tank, guaranteed. But do the music boxes? No, they don't. Roulette rewards. Open up 30 boxes, receive a guaranteed tier 10 tank. But you get the G-Saw. No. You don't. Because a guaranteed reward isn't just the G-Saw, it's all of these. So if you just want the new tank, you're out of luck unless you already have all of the others. Whereas obviously, it weighs vehicles you don't have higher than vehicles you do have. So you're more likely to get tanks you don't have, which is a slight compensation for the terrible mechanic, but nonetheless, 0.4% drop chance right here. So it is essentially quite a bit of a worse mechanic than the snow globes. Oops. If you watch my Why World of Tanks Blitz shop has gotten worse video, I pretty much predicted exactly this. Congrats to me, I guess. I don't know. I think the event overall is quite solid. You can get a lot of free stuff right here. If you play the game regularly, if you earn yourself rewards, you can get extra credits. Obviously, in World of Tanks PC, you can also earn yourself extra XP as well, not just the credits. And you can get the music boxes. You can get some of them free for 20 million credits right here, which everybody has that is free to... Everybody that's free to play has 20 million credits. We all know that. We all know that. We all know that. You can also get yourself a sort of Kharkov with a Husky on top. Now, unfortunately, the dog does not have missions for you like it does in World of Tanks PC, but there is a dog nonetheless. So, essentially, this is a downsized... Not necessarily downgraded, but very much downsized version of the World of Tanks PC event with a lot of gambling in it. What I would rate this event? 5 out of 10. Passed. But now, the main attraction. The G-Saw, the tank. You've already seen that you can't have the G-Saw. I definitely wouldn't recommend trying to get it either. Simply wait for it to be in shop eventually, like all the other vehicles as well. It's gonna be in the shop eventually, don't worry. You don't need to spend your entire Christmas money on this vehicle, especially because it's not worth that. Now, it is a good vehicle. If you have a look at the stats, 2,400 hit points, 172 on the turret, but well, more on that later, more on that armor. Camo, it's a heavy, it doesn't matter. 3,200 DPM, that is very high. 6-second reload time for 320 alpha damage. 268 standard penetration when using calibrated shells, which I would recommend on this vehicle, and 367 on the heat round, which is very good. Now, 3.1 second aim time and 0.27 dispersion, those are very good as well, and you have 12 degrees of gun depression, so this thing is a absolute hull-down monster, also seen by the turret armor on this vehicle. Top speed is 40 and in reverse 20, however, it accelerates quite quickly, so the mobility of this thing is very nice. And the traverse speed, especially the hull turn, 53 degrees a second. This thing is very mobile. This is essentially Action X on a lot of steroids. Now, still not worth it. It is a good vehicle. However, it suffers from the same problem as the Action X. It's a heavy tank with very low alpha damage. So for every time the enemy heavy shoots you, you have to get 2 shots back. Now, one of the ways you can achieve that is by going hull down with your 12 degrees of gun depression, because that means, well, your hull is hidden, your upper plate is over 400 millimeters thick, and your turret is very difficult to penetrate, especially at the top parts right here. Obviously, you retain some weak spots right here. However, with heat rounds, because this is a shield, the heat rounds will just penetrate this, lose a lot of their penetration, and not actually go through. So the only reliable way you could go through is hit it right here in this gun pole, which is 76 millimeters thick. But there's a lot of tier 10 shells that are bigger than that hole, so you're not getting that in there. So this vehicle in a hull-down situation is going to be very good. It turns very well, and it does really well in hull-down situations. So this vehicle, it's not great, but it is certainly strong. Now, imagine this vehicle was in the shop for 17,500 gold, which eventually it is going to be. would it be a good purchase then? Well, that's a good question, because we already have the T95E6, which is really strong now. We have the Concept 1B, which has gotten nerfed a little bit with the autoloader change. However, I don't think this would be my primary pick for that. Now, it does have two massive advantages. That's the 12 degrees of gun depression and the rapid fire rate. Now, obviously, the faster you can fire, you can, for example, keep a enemy tank destroyer permanently tracked. They can't get away, especially if they only use one repair kit. However, obviously, the downside of the high fire rate, low alpha damages, you have to expose your vehicle more and more and more, but that's where the 12 degrees of gun depression comes in. You can keep this thing hidden behind a hill all day long, and if you keep moving back and forth, like you should do with any tank that you're trying to play hull down in, you can pretty much tank any shot off the turret, and you'll be just fine. So that's the thing that you want to do with this. You can see it right here. I'm trying to lock this Hori down with the fire rate right there, and it works out quite well. Now, the hull armor, unless you're completely hull down, is a bit of a paper construct. So don't rely on that, especially if you're on flat ground. The turret, though, is very good. However, with premium ammo, a lot of tanks can still go through it, so I definitely recommend, if you can, play this vehicle in a hold down position and use that 12 degrees of gun depression to the maximum. However, you're not really getting anything revolutionary. It's not like the brand new tier 10 Blitz Nation tank with its weird autocannon, which is definitely new and revolutionary, but it's alright. So I would put the GSO in the category of, I mean, you can, but you don't have to, because there already are enough good tier 10s in the game that you could have otherwise. However, if you're a tank collector and this thing eventually comes in the shop unchanged and for a reasonable price, I think then it might be worth considering. But right now, you're not missing out on anything by not having it. It's not like completely OP, and it's not utter garbage like the Waffen F1. So you're having a vehicle here that's in the game, and obviously you're not missing out on anything by not having it, and you're probably far better off spending your money on something useful than trying to get this vehicle, which, albeit good, is just not worth it.